Salam to everyone. Peace be upon you. It's Friday evening here, 6:35 p.m. in the UK. I hope everyone is well. I'm just going to check if everything is working appropriately on YouTube and on Facebook. Give me one moment. Testing sound. Okay, good. Oh, salam, Sister B. How are you today? Salam, Brother Lemming. It's going to be a very, very short session today, I'm afraid, because I'm 20 minutes away from being asked for dinner downstairs, or asked to have dinner, rather. Salam, Moneypenny on TikTok, and Sarah and Anonymous Panda. So, as you know, most of the sessions which I do live, they are focused on the commandments of Allah in the Qur'an, because if we are seeking to be mu'min, if we are seeking to understand what the purpose of our life is, if we are seeking to try and establish what is right and truthful for us to do and what we should not be doing, then we need to understand the commandments of God. And a lot of the topics which I present are about giving. And so today we will look at one verse, in fact, half of a verse, for about 10-15 minutes and just reflect. And perhaps this will be a valuable Friday khutbah. Okay, Brother Lemming, I'm really sorry to hear about. I just read your comment. I know you're feeling a little bit down. Yes, unfortunately, when we see what's happening in the world and the injustices, it does get us down, particularly if you feel helpless about it. But we all live in our own personal realms in which we can have some influence. That could be influence on ourselves in the way we think and the way we act, or it could be influence on the people in our families, the ones we love, the ones that are dependent on us, the next generation. We have influence over the next generation, and we can arm the next generation to act for justice. Salam, Brother Matari. Thank you for your very kind comment. I appreciate your attendance and your comments. Okay, I think we'll get started because we are short on time today. Let me share my screen. Let's see how this works. Here we go. So, as I mentioned, a lot of the focus of my studies on the Quran have led me to understand that a key part of my self-focus, self-reflection, and actions have to do with giving. And I came across this verse which supports the understanding of what giving is. Here we are. Hopefully you can see the screen now. We're going to look at Surah Al-A'raf, which is chapter 7, verse 85. Thank you, Brother Matari, for confirming. Just had someone enter my room. Just left. Okay. Now, it's the second part of the verse in particular which I was looking at earlier today. But let's read the entirety. So Allah says, and to Madian, his brother Shu'aib. So we're talking about Shu'aib here and a conversation that's going to happen. He said, "O my people." So these are people in Shu'aib's community. Qala ya qawmi, O my people. Serve Allah. A'budullaha. Most of the translations say worship Allah, but I think people have a misunderstanding of what worship means in the context of the Quran. I prefer to translate a'budu as serve. Serve Allah. And not for you any God other than Him. Verily has come to you a clear proof from your Lord. Now here, see how interestingly the terminology switches from Ilahi, not for you any God, Ma lakum min ilahi ghayruhu, not for you any God other than Him, Ilahi, and then it switches to clear proof from your Lord. Bayinatum min rabbikum, your Lord. Switches. Maybe we'll discuss the what that means at some other point in time, because that's not the focus of today's session. But your Lord, Rabbikum, Rab meaning, and the Lord meaning the source of your existence, your nourishment, your protection, your birth. So the Lord is signifying the source of everything that allows us to sustain us and ourselves. Okay, so now that's relevant to what's coming next. So give full measure and weight. Give full measure and weight. So here Allah is telling us about giving. Giving. And Allah's telling us, He's giving us information about how much. Full measure and weight. So that means if there is something which we have committed to others, we have to give that full measure and weight. So, for example, if we have done a deal, a trade, and somebody has undertaken a trade with us, and we have committed as part of that trade to provide something. That could be it could be material or abstract, but Allah is saying give all of it. Now, in many people, there is a selfish desire that calls them out to hold back some of it, because it calls out the fact that if you retain some of what you owe somebody else, then that will be an advantage for you relative to other people, relative to that person. You will hold the power. You will have more. You will retain more wealth. You will retain more abundant materials or anything like that. But let's move on now to the next part of this, because this is very important. And not deprive people in their things. Not deprive people in their things. So let's reflect on that a little bit. Let's reflect on that. Their things. Ashya'ahum. What are their things? Now, on the one hand, you can think of a scenario that we just discussed where there is a trade taking place and you've committed something as part of that trade. So you can, in that scenario, very logically and sensibly say, you must not deprive that other person with the other side of the trade that you have committed. But this is far wider when you think about this. When you start to ponder over what the message is over here, it is far deeper and wider than just that scenario. Allah tells us that He has provided an abundance of blessings for the entire world. Allah has provided everything that is needed by all of the communities on this earth. Allah talks about the abundance of blessings which He has provided, which means that everybody on this earth has a right to those blessings. Everybody on earth has a right to the abundance of blessings that have been provided by the Lord, by the Rabb, the source of sustenance. Now look at the world around us. Look at the inequality around us. We have clear sight of the differences in the extent to which people have access to the blessings that have been provided, bestowed upon us all by God, by the Lord, by the Rabb. Look at the millions and millions of people we see on our social media, on our TV screens, who do not have access to clean water, do not have access to food or medication, do not have access to clean air. They do not have access to money, to currency, which is the basis on which this world operates. They don't have access to this. They have been deprived of what is theirs. They have been deprived of the blessings which have been provided by God. That has been done by people. People are dying of hunger, not because of God's system. This is not God punishing people. It's because of us, people. Because we have decided not to follow this order here that we are seeing in this verse. We have chosen to deprive people of what is theirs. Thank you, Sister Sarah on TikTok. We have done this. We have decided to hoard. We have gone against the system of nature. When I think about nature, let's think of an example of where nature works. Think about plants and the soil. Let's think about the soil. Look at how the soil follows this command. When the soil is watered through rainfall, you look at when you think of the plants and their roots, which are placed within the soil. When the water or other nutrients, when they enter the soil, what do the roots do of the plants? What does the soil do? It takes what it needs and then it passes it on. The soil, the roots, never block access to that blessing, the water which is required for nourishment of the plants and the other ecosystems within the soil. It never blocks it. It takes what it needs and it passes it on. The water passes through the soil, giving access to the roots of so many plants. They are doing ibadah. They are following the system, the natural system. We humans have decided not to follow that natural system. We have decided to hoard as many of the blessings as we can and deprive others. Why? Because we feel powerful. We feel in control. As Sister B is saying over here, greed, politics, fear, these are the forces that are driving these negative behaviors in human beings. Salam, Brother Hassan on YouTube. This is so true. Think about this. The borders which you see on earth, they were not designed by God. They were designed by humans. Allah tells us in the Qur'an that once mankind was unified, we were one community. These borders, these divisions have been created by us humans. And these borders have then instigated reasons for deprivation, mechanisms of deprivation. And this verse goes on, and not cause corruption in the earth after its reformation. Wala nafsidu fil ardi. Don't cause corruption. This is causing corruption. This imbalance, the inequality, the reason for crime. This has been caused by us because we deprive people of their things. their things. It is theirs. These blessings are theirs. They're not ours to hoard. And look at the way Allah ends this verse. That better for you if you are mu'mineen. Here Allah is giving us a message. If we hold the aspiration of being mu'min, if we claim to be mu'min, then this is something, this system, we have to establish. We have to follow. Giving what is theirs. Our role is to take Allah's blessings to the extent that we need them and pass on the rest to others. Just like the soil does. Just like all of Allah's creations and natural systems and ecosystems do, apart from humans. This is how we unify people. This is how we work towards establishing peace by giving what is theirs. It is not ours, it is theirs. So that's all I wanted to cover. That was 22 minutes rather than 10 minutes. Like I mentioned, today's session is a shorter one compared to ones which I've done recently. But rather than not come on and discuss this at all, given our shortened time, I decided to come on for at least this short period and share this lesson which I was looking at for myself earlier today. And I thought it would be useful to share with all of you as well. So, a short one it was, but it was a blessing to have the opportunity to speak to all of you. And as I always say, one of the things that we can do is share this knowledge. Knowledge is a blessing. And so this is something to be shared. Knowledge is to be shared, not hoarded. It's the reason why I do this. And so one thing you can do is also share this knowledge. And the way you can do it is quite simple. If you can just click on like to suggest to the algorithms on the social media platforms to share this with other people. Subscribe to the channel and share the link to this video, which will be on our YouTube channel. Share the link with others. And this is how you can influence and benefit others and work towards peace and becoming mu'min. So on that, I thank you again. Peace upon all of you. Please share the love with your immediate family, your household, your neighbors, your wider community, people at your workplace, people at your college if you're a student. And I can see brother from RA Solutions just joined on TikTok. Salam, brother. I'm just logging off actually. But it's a short video. If you go onto the YouTube channel and go onto the live videos, this was a 20-minute session. We were looking at Surah Al-A'raf, chapter 7, verse 85, which is all about giving others what is theirs. Be at peace with others, to be at peace with yourself. And inshallah, we'll be better for it and work towards being mu'min. Assalamu alaikum. Peace upon all of you.